Hello my friends, my name is Abram Gonzalez. Welcome to Inspiraction. We're doing something new that you've never done before. Will change your experience forever. I promise you, personal growth is guaranteed. Now today's episode came completely out of left field. It was not planned. It came up completely random and began as something that was pretty hilarious and evolved into something that became pretty profound. And that's why I can't wait to share with you today's episode, which is cross-dressing for a day. Now there is a little bit of backstory, and so we're going to jump into that right now. Alright, so here's the situation. Last night I went out with some friends and ended up spending the night here at Nikki's house. And got a message from our buddy George, who we're going to his workshop today. And he was like, oh hey, don't bring your nice clothes because we're going to be painting at the workshop, right? Painting. Yeah, painting. Anyway, all I brought was nice clothes, except for like the tie-dye. I consider that nice. I don't want to get my tie-dye all covered in paint. So, thankfully, Nikki has helped come with some alternatives.
Abram, what are you wearing?
I don't know, but it looks pretty good. You ready?
Yeah, let's see it.
The hat or no hat?
Don't be shy, Abram. Come on out.
Okay.
Woohoo!
What's going on? Let's go to a workshop.
What workshop are you going to?
George R. Carroll's 7 NLP things, blow up your business and stuff. Check out my silver.
I'm checking it out. It's very flattering to your figure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Look at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit of nipple action right here going on.
It's a little cold outside, that's why I got my jacket. I got my jacket.
Uh-huh.
And in case the men there, in case they want a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's worth going over the top.
You look pretty and beautiful no matter what, Abram.
Oh, thank you.
How does it get any better than this?
And once I was ready to go and nice and fit in my jacket, it was off to the workshop. So today, we're running a little bit of a social experiment to see if people can really take it. I wasn't really sure how anybody was going to react, especially George, who was running the workshop. I didn't know, like, coming to a professional workshop in a dress as a man, like a total distraction, obviously like looking for a little attention. I'm not a Leo. Anyway, walking in there, I just didn't know what to expect, and so George actually greeted me with open arms, laughing his butt off, just like, dude, you make my day every single time you show up to one of these things, and like, this is no exception. So that put a smile on my face, and the rest of the experience that was there at the workshop was great. You know, I walked into a space with a bunch of people that were very accepting. Like, people laugh, of course, because it's kind of ridiculous, you know, seeing a man in a dress if you're not used to it. And I just didn't really feel any judgment in that room. You know, I just felt like people were like, yeah, like this kid's about having fun, and like, we're not gonna place all these labels on him. Like, this is a beautiful person, you know, like, yeah, I look sexy in a dress. So anyway, the time spent there in the workshop was great. I think it was just the fact that those people that were there were looking for, you know, to improve themselves, to grow on a personal level as well as in their business. And I think that kind of a space allows for people to be more of who they really are. You know what I mean? Now, I mentioned to you in the beginning of this video that by the end of my experience, some pretty profound things had occurred. Now, my time spent in the workshop was pretty generative, fun, it was hilarious, it felt very safe. You know, the people that were there were extremely welcoming and allowing me to be just ridiculous, right? Now, when I went out into public with a few friends from the workshop, that's where I learned and gained some insight that I would have never found before. No matter how many people that I could have talked to that have been you know, I've maybe done like some drag queen kind of stuff or like been a crossdresser. There's nothing that these people could have told me to relate that experience to get me to understand the way that it felt to actually go out and do it myself. So when I went to Tokyo Joe's, that was the first little experience out in public, and it was funny. It was light. I mean, I walked in and there were some people like kind of staring and stuff, but it wasn't a big deal. And the girl behind the cash register, like, we even flirted a little bit. I was like, you like my getup? You know, like, what's your favorite part? And she thought the dress was pretty fabulous. So I was digging the compliments. Now, when I went over to Starbucks with my friend Megan, that's where the interesting stuff really started to happen. So we walked over and I was sitting, like, you know, petting some dogs with Megan, and there was a dude, like, parked in his work truck next to the Starbucks. I guess he was talking to some of his buddies there. You know, he was on break from work, right? Construction dude. And he looks up and he's obviously making fun of me. And so Megan picks up on whatever he said, and she goes, "You want to see a real man? This is a real man," right? It's just like, oh, great, here we go. So as we're walking by, the guy's kind of laughing, you know, making more comments, whatever those comments were. And yeah, I just walked by and I was like, yeah, check that ass. And I slapped myself in the butt, and he was just like, I don't even know how to handle this, right? So whatever. Like, I felt the immense judgment and heaviness of, like, his presence, just, like, thinking all these things. And my thought at the time was, like, you know, I used to work construction, and I just think it's so interesting how if I'd walked by in work boots, in a dirty old t-shirt, in my man suit, none of that judgment would have come. Sorry, my bad, the camera ran out of footage right in the middle of that thought, but essentially I was just thinking, like, if it had been a different situation, like, I would have never placed those same judgments on me. So, like, perception is everything, because I'm the same person, regardless of what I'm wearing, you know what I mean? And so I walked into the coffee shop with Megan, and it was like, it was Starbucks, right? I think if any place I could have walked into, Starbucks, I would have probably gotten some of the most attention. And so I walked in and it just felt like all eyes on me, and it was just so interesting. Like, nobody said anything, but I could feel their thoughts. So certain thoughts, sorry, my nose is really itchy. Certain thoughts, I could feel them just like, kind of like hitting and then like falling off, and hitting and like falling off. And I think it's just people that were just kind of like checking things out, like whoever it was that was in the room. And then the other awarenesses that I had were the people that kept staring, and the people that I could just feel like they were just putting all these thoughts and I guess like judgments and like conclusions on me and what they were thinking of me for being there in that moment with that, you know, like all these things. And it was so loud. It was so loud in, like, energetically. I could just feel all of it. And I think the coolest part about the whole thing was when I got my coffee there from the girl behind the counter. Like, she didn't say anything at first, but I could feel her thinking about me. And by the time that she handed us the coffee, like, she had a smirk on her face, and she was just like, "I really like your dress. It's really pretty," you know? And I was like, that is so cool, you know? Like, I thanked her for that. And so it was just a really interesting experience going out there in the world and in a way that I'm not normally used to, and being the subject of a lot of criticism, judgment, and the attention of others. In a way, I kind of want to encourage you to go do it too. Like, it was just so enlightening in a lot of ways, just to, like, actually experience that from the eyes and perspective of somebody who I've only ever heard the experience from before. So that's my adventure. I hope you got a couple laughs. If anything, I'll put some more pictures here at the end, or maybe I'll put them early on in the video. Who knows when it's going to be when I finally edit this thing together, but I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got some laughs, and I want to know, has there ever been a time that you were judged? And what did that make you feel like? Curious. Post your comments below. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Thanks, and until next time.
Drinks in